Before Prüvit, and we're talking about 5, 6, 7 years ago, the only way to get into ketosis was through intense low carbohydrate ketogenic diet. For me to get into ketosis, I had to have my carbohydrates less than 5%, intense fasting, and it was hard to maintain. Not a lot of people would get into ketosis. The other thing is there's an adaptation period when people go on a ketogenic diet. So when I would start a ketogenic diet or someone would start a ketogenic diet, they'd be tired. They'd have brain fog. They wouldn't function as well and they quit. But the problem is there's over 100 years of studies on how beneficial ketogenic dieting is, right? There's studies on cognitive function. There's studies on fat loss. There's studies on improving longevity and health. But people couldn't tap into this. So myself and Dr. Lowry were doing a lot of research with exogenous ketones. And prior to Prüvit, when you go on a low carbohydrate diet and you make ketones and they raise up in the blood, right, that is where all the magic happens, right? That's what gives you the great cognitive awareness. That's what makes you feel better about yourself. So scientists wanted to isolate out ketones. They were doing it in soldiers. They were doing it in different cognitive disorders. But the cost of a ketone back when we were doing research before Prüvit could be as high as $1,000 a serving. So when we did research, you had to get $1 million grant just to do a study to study ketones in humans. Brian Underwood came along, Terry LaCour came along, and the Prüvit team, and basically said, we need to take this and be able to get it out to the masses. And so basically we were able to work with them to produce what are called ketone salts. And Prüvit, with engineering and innovation, was able to bring it onto the market, so it was very cheap per serving and it became affordable. So now all of a sudden, this literally changed the world. No one was talking about ketogenic dieting. Now everyone's talking about ketogenic dieting because they could experience the power of ketones. Before Prüvit came onto the market, ketogenic dieting was bad for you. Now everyone knows ketogenic dieting is great for you, improves longevity, and that ketones are the key.